This is poetry from Poetic G. Reality. This is real.
I'm King George. I'm the owner of T.Y.I Productions. I am the curator of Black 31 magazine. Today I'm here with another special guest from the community. This lady is a comedian. This lady is a producer. This lady is a writer, and also this lady is a self-help mentor. So I really want to dive straight into this interview, and I want to know all the special things that she loves about her creative arts. So let's jump right into it. Can we please give it up for Miss Melissa? Let's go.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your time and even having me on here. This is incredible. But, you know, it's so funny even listening to you say that, because a few years ago, that was not my life. This is like a totally different chapter that I was living.
Yes.
So a few years ago, I could barely get out of bed. I was depressed. I was chewing on pills, like not living my best life at all.
Yes.
And like about 5 years ago, I sat and I was like, you know what? This ain't it. Like, I don't know what to do, but this ain't it.
Yes.
And I was just sick of myself. So I started putting in work, like going deep, like healing my inner child wounds, like really just digging in on who I am and like mastering myself.
Yes.
Because if you don't know yourself, how are you going to help anybody else?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know? So I'm like, all right, let me get into that for myself. So I started working on myself, really getting to know me, getting to know God. Like that was like huge for me, because through myself, that's how I found my connection to the Most High. So I went through all that, and I became a two-time international best-selling author, comedian. I produced comedy shows with my fiance.
That's nice.
I mean, we do a lot of great stuff for the community. We volunteer. Like, we have a lot of great things we do. But my favorite thing is definitely the self-help and prosperity mentoring,
Yes.
because that's what changed my life for me. And the people that changed my life don't even know they did it, because I really found them. It was a bunch of millionaires and billionaires that I saw online. I just started watching them, watching what they did to be successful.
Yes.
And I never thought I'd really be anything, because I have a felony. I'll say that I got a felony. And I never thought I'd be anything until I heard these millionaires. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm a felon. Oh yeah, I got arrested. Oh yeah, I did. And I was like, wait, I could do it then? And from there, I just started building, and have networked and met incredible people, been incredible places. Like we performed at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club in Las Vegas with Keenan Presents, like from Keenan and Kel.
Yes.
We got to perform out there, so that was really cool. But yeah, that's really what I'm doing. And now I've just been diving into working with people one-on-one.
Yes.
That's like my real passion, working with people, helping women take their power back. And it could be men too. I'll help men too. So taking their power back, getting into alignment with their soul's purpose, and really pushing forward.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And I want to dive into so many things at once, but I'm gonna just take one step at a time. What do you love most about comedy?
I love that it's just kind of who I am. See, I never looked at myself as a comedian, because I've always been this person. And I know there are comics that go on stage to be funny, but I go on stage and I just am myself. Like I don't sit down and write up like, what's a funny joke, guys? Like I know people do that, but like I don't do that. But it's, for me, it's the natural, like getting on stage, feeling the energy of people, knowing when people are laughing, they're relating to you, and just making their day a little brighter, a little brighter.
Absolutely. And how does comedy tie into a mental health? How does that tie into a mental health factor? What does comedy do for the mental health?
I think, okay, so I love this because before I really did anything on stage, I used my platforms for like joking around, like my little posting, the way I post. And I found that when you don't, when you're not seeing people that you're posting for, like I got followers on all different platforms. I don't know them,
Yeah.
but I've had people message and be like, this brightened my whole day. Like this it shifted my whole outlook. Like it was funny. It left me, like that's how I like to leave people better than I found them. So when I
Yes.
post, I'm posting because I think it's funny, but I know people take that and it gives them a little joy. It might not last all day for them, but they chuckled. They kept going. And even at the shows, you could see like there's people I stay in touch with after the shows, and you could see like they enjoy the. Sorry, my people are coming in. They enjoy the fun of that, the fun of just playing around and being yourself. And I think really being able to be your authentic self is
Okay.
how that translates so well. Instead of pretending to be something, you just bring it into it, and it helps people relax. It helps people be able to open up more. That's what I've noticed anyway.
Yes. Yes. And as for writing,
Mhm.
how early did you get into writing? When did writing start? And how did that even cross paths with being a part of production?
So this was really crazy how that all came about. I actually, a few years ago, I was sitting and I was deep in the personal development space. I met a girl. She wanted to interview me on her podcast for leadership. By the end of the podcast, she is like, "Do you want to write in a book with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I hadn't written since high school. Like I have no formal training. I just know what I knew from school. So
Yes.
we wind up writing in the book together. The book becomes an international bestseller. And I really hadn't written anything since I was like 16 until I was like 39. So when I wrote that, it was in a book with a bunch of other women. We co-created the book. And it was a great experience. And to have something in print that is forever, ever, I think that is like huge. And then I actually just a couple days ago I had an article published by a publication. It's called Women's Thrive magazine, and
Yeah.
they're out of the UK, but it got published through them, and it's a print
Mhm.
material. So that's another thing I just added into. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
beautiful. That's
it's pretty
wonderful. That's wonderful.
neat.
And what does it mean? What does it mean to be successful to you?
So I know success looks different for everybody, but for me, it's getting up in the morning, sitting with myself, my affirmations, just really just doing life the way I think it's good, being able to get my kids on the bus, but still be able to get on here and talk to you. You know what I mean? Like the ease in which I can move around. Like that's what success is for me. It doesn't have to be millions of dollars, but like my heart is happy with what I do. Like sharing my story. It's not easy always sharing this stuff, but it makes my
Yes.
heart happy to do that and help other people. This way they know they're not alone and they can share it too.
Yeah.
Because I think once you share, even like me saying out loud I have a felony, like people are like, "Oh God," and I'm like, "All right, well, it doesn't make me who I am." It did for 20 years. In my head, I was like, "Oh, you're a loser. You're not this. You're not this." And then when I started hearing these millionaires, I'm like, "Wait a minute. I'm not as dumb as I think I am. I'm actually
Yes.
not dumb at all. And it doesn't matter that you have a felony. You can do anything. And that goes for anybody that's watching this on here. You could literally do whatever you want. You can make it all up. You can make it all up with your thoughts, words, feelings. Like you could do it. So it's really, That's what I want to share with people. Really share your story. It's so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let the people know, what is the best thing about life?
Oh God, the peace within myself that I can go to bed every night and know that I'm a good human, and that I just wake up like that, just with like literal gratitude and like love in my heart. I know it's corny, I know this, but really, like that for me, it's like, I don't know. After having like such a turbulent life of
Yes.
just crap all the time, to be able to look in the mirror and be like, I love you, like that for me, that's success. Like that's everything. Like being able to just and know that I did it I did it. Any of it. It's me. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's what I'm talking about.
I
So,
appreciate it.
to get back in, to jump back into the comedy mode.
Mm.
Um, who are some of your greatest inspirations when it comes to comedy? Who inspire you?
So, it's so funny. I never really had people that I like followed for comedy. I do love Dave Chappelle is my favorite. I think he is hilarious. Like
I have that.
the way he jokes is like so spot on for. He's hilarious to me. And Patrice O'Neill, also
Okay.
hysterical. He's passed and gone, but he was absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Like, yeah, people are Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy's hilarious. He was hilarious. Like I like old school comedy really, but now I don't really watch it. I don't. I don't. I don't go and like watch other people's stuff. Only because I'm busy making my own stuff. So I don't. I don't like go watch other people's stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Because
Now,
when you're a creator, when you're creating, you're creating. You're not consuming.
yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I do have a question.
Sure.
And it's back to comedy. And how how did you feel, or how do you feel about, um, he's another comedian, but most importantly, how do you feel about the interview that he did on Club Shay Shay, Cat Williams?
I loved it because I've been saying the same thing for years, and like to hear it from like somebody that people respect, like all the stuff in the industry, I think people know, but they pretend they don't know because when you think about it, it really is like a it's a real trip. So I think people don't. But I think when he did that interview, he was really just setting up what was going to go on because it kind of had to unfold like this, I think. But I love that he keeps it real. And even when everyone was calling him crazy,
Yes.
everybody was telling him, oh, no, that ain't true. It was all true. So I loved it because as I watched it, like all the stuff, it's stuff that I've been also saying for years, and to hear it out loud for somebody that big to say it and have people be like, oh, maybe it's not what we thought. Maybe it is a little funky going on over here. And now everybody's like, oh wait, this man was absolutely telling the truth. So I love it. I love it. Like I love it.
Absolutely.
The truth, because
Absolutely.
the truth is going to come out. Everybody's going to get exposed. So whoever's out there telling the truth, those are the people that are really going to rise to the top. That's why I think Kat, when he did that, that was great.
Absolutely. 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 That was a excellent, excellent, excellent interview.
Yo, yeah.
And and one thing I want to ask also, because we are living in the times right now. Everybody have their opinion. This is nothing, not a stressful question. Just how do you overall feel about the new elected candidate and the new president,
So
2024 in America? How do you feel?
I kind of feel like I did yesterday because, like, do these people matter? Not really. Not really. I know that people want them to matter. I get it. I get the thought process behind it. I do. I used to think like that too. I used to be like, oh yeah, the president's the ruler. But like for me, I just, and this is what I said to everybody, instead of watching TV and looking at these people, no, it's a show. There's nothing new under the sun. And like just be good to the people, like love yourself so you can love other people
Yeah.
and be a good human.
Yes.
Because these people at the end of the day, I am never going to see any of them.
Yes.
They're
Absolutely.
not going to come to my house and pay for my electric. Like, I'm not, like,
That's
they're
true.
not concerned about us. Like, I think that I know to keep the people entertained, they like that kind of thing, like an election and we're going to do this. But I know my fiance was telling me that some of the places, like, that they even went to, like, they didn't even have ballots for people to vote. Like, you knew what day it was. It's not like you don't know. So like, how is that even? I can't take it serious. I don't take it seriously. I know people really get into it. I don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, no, I totally understand. I
Yeah, I'm
totally
like,
get
I
it.
don't.
How do you feel about all the gun violence that's just plaguing everywhere? Gun violence, I'm talking about mass hysteria. How do you feel about everything that's just going on?
I think that I think for each area, it's a sensitive topic to the area. I think it's so hard when people think the only way to solve things is with guns. But I think it goes back to really digging into like knowing yourself and like loving yourself. Like if you're not raised in an environment that love is present, that trusting yourself is present, that all these things that you need to be like a safe like a safe person on the inside,
Uh-huh.
if you to be able to be that human, you have a lot of work to do. So people that go to guns right away for violence, like it's because they're not able to do it another way. They're not able to
Absolutely.
sit and say, I'm angry, this is why I'm doing this. So it's like it's so deep. It's such a deep problem.
Yes.
It's such a deep problem. Because it's deeper than the guns. It's why are people feeling like the only way that you can get out of a situation is to kill somebody.
Uh-huh.
Like that for me is like because I have three daughters, and to know that that's like the world, I just try to make sure that they know to get so solid in themselves to not even be around anybody with
Yeah.
a gun. Like that, you would hope that you don't need one. But I do know that I do know it's not rainbows and sunshine all the time. I do know that too.
Absolutely. 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 And and just to get into uh a more sensitive question, but just a natural question. How how amazing is it? How amazing is it to have a mate who supports exactly what you do?
So it's funny that you brought this up because I was thinking about it when I was in the shower. Like the difference between being with somebody that doesn't care about what you're doing and then being with somebody that supports what you're doing. And
Uh-huh.
it can completely change the trajectory of your life with the right mate, but it can also be the detriment of your life with the wrong one. Like
Yes.
if you have somebody that sees you for who you are, like, because I know who I am, but
Yeah.
like that doesn't mean other people do. So to have somebody that sees you for who you are and then is able to say like, "Hey, I see what you're doing. Like, keep going." That changes everything. But I know you know that. I know you know that because you got your girl over there. She's incredible. So to
Yes.
have somebody that's like, yeah, like, no, you can do it. That changes the whole dynamic of life, I think. I know for me it did because where I was, like even in previous relationships, I was always trying to do things like this, like going live or, doing Zooms and helping people with mindset. to be
Yes.
met with somebody trying to make noise in the background or aggravate you while you're doing it. And it's like, for what? But then to
Yes.
have somebody that's like, no, go ahead, like I got dinner so that you can go do what you need to do, or hey, I can do this so you could do this. Like that makes a huge difference in life. Like it just
Yes.
it's a huge difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And listen, that's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to always see something like that, and to always know that you have a solid mate that's down to support uh, the the creative thing that you do, because that's what it really boils down to most of the time. Most of the time, you always, when you have that mate that support them creative things, is like, it's amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's like a blooming a flower.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's amazing. So uh, uh, before we before we jump into our last two questions, right? Um, I got a quick
Hmm.
question, a little small quick question, and maybe it may be two, and is a very very quick question, but just to get your mind thinking, just about comedians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the comedian field. Um, so I'm gonna pick one right now. Cat Williams or D. Ray Davis.
Cat Williams. D Ray's funny, but Cat Williams just his delivery's funny. He's
Okay.
I love storytellers
Yes.
because that's how I present on stage. I'm a storyteller. Like I'm talking. Like I'm just. That's how I. So I appreciate that art.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask one more. I'm gonna think. Uh, uh, Let me think. Bill Bellamy or uh, Tony Roberts.
Bill Bellamy, because Bill Bellamy's still funny. Like he's still funny. Like he's got longevity funny. He actually.
Okay.
I just saw a special with him. Like it's crazy because these are people that when I was younger, like I used to watch them in all these different movies and stuff. But as I go through and have performed at different places, because we traveled across the country actually. We were in Minnesota, we were in South Carolina, we were all over. But just even being in these buildings
Yes.
with not even with the people, being on the stages that these people have been on
Yes.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Because out by us, we have Governor's Comedy Club, so I performed there. I was at Laughing Stock. I mean, we've been all over, but just some of these people, like, would we go in the back into, like, the green room area, like, there's all pictures of them, and it's like, oh, I'm on this stage too? Oh, okay. It's so surreal, and because like I said, I didn't grow up being like, oh, I'm going to be a comedian. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. No, that was not what I was doing at all, like, at all.
Yes.
So to be doing that now and just incorporating all the different things, it's kind of
Absolutely.
like my whole purpose is coming together. So that's been like the best part.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. And just one more.
Sure.
I know that this might be a tough one, but it may be an easy one for you. Uh, um, Mike Epps or Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. See, Mike
Okay.
Epps is like sidebar funny.
Okay.
You know, I don't. Chris Tucker is like more like, well, he's more like in a movie funny than he is. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 I like that. I like that. And to jump into the last question of the evening, something that we always ask the guests. And what I really want to ask is, what advice do you have for the young, striving female comedian, or just female, period? What advice do you have if she wants to get into the industry of being a comedian or a writer or a producer, or even a self-help mentor, right? Um, what advice do you have for that young lady who actually may need the help or actually want to give out the help, What do she need to do to be successful, to make sure she's doing the right things, and how do she plant her mark in this world so she can be considered a phenomenal woman?
So the first thing I'm gonna say is that every single, and this isn't just this is everybody, you have to get firm in yourself. You gotta know who you are and what you stand for. You you have to have like a moral compass. Like these things sound like normal, but most people don't have them. If you want to go into this industry, you have to know who you are going in. Because if you don't, they're gonna try to get you to do stuff that is not. That's not it. They're gonna try. They're gonna try it. They're gonna try to get you to do stuff that you don't want to do. They're gonna test you. But if you know who you are and you know like where you're at, because like I'm a newer comic, I'm not. I haven't been doing this 20 years like people. Like I think I'm coming up on like 2 years, and I've traveled all over. Been on Jimmy Kimmel's stage. So like people, a lot of people in the industry, they tell you gotta do it a certain way. You gotta do this. You don't. You don't. You do it however you want. Like I know a lot of people that were like they had to start out in like a pizza place and they're at these little janky bars. And if that's how you started, I'm not knocking you. That's not how I started. I got extremely blessed and lucky to be able to be on a real comedy stage like my first show. So I was
Yeah.
at Governor's on in the giggle room on stage and I got paid my first show, which most people that doesn't happen. So
Yes.
like you just have to know what you're worthy of. You have to know what you're worthy of. And then when you get there and if you want to start and you don't really know what to do, go to an open mic. There's open mics. I know a lot of people like them. I don't use them. I don't need to go practice being myself somewhere. I can do that everywhere. So I don't go to open mics like other people do. And if you do it, that's fine for you. You don't have to. But I would definitely say just get into it. Like whatever it looks like. It doesn't have, and I think people get caught up with what it looks like. When I first started, I didn't know what it was gonna look like because I'd never done it before. So I didn't have anything to compare it to either. So I would just say really go to open mics, look online too on Facebook and the groups, find comedy groups in your area. I mean, if you want to reach out to me, I'm a resource. I will help if anybody wants to get into it and just doesn't know how. Reach out, shoot me a message. I will absolutely help you.
Yeah.
And even like for producing and for writing, that all kind of just melded together within. Once I started putting myself out there, at first I wasn't getting booked because it's different for women. It's different for women. It's just a different party. I wasn't getting booked, but I did get on stage. Like we were producing shows, so I got on. And then I did have people start booking me. I wound up in the city. Then we got booked out in South Carolina. So I mean, it's you could do it as fast or as slow as you want, but when
Yes.
you really just put your head down and get into it, you can go fast. You can absolutely go fast if you wanted to. Some people just they don't want to, or they would. I don't know.
Absolutely. 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 And 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 last but not least, right? Why do you consider yourself the greatest self-help mentor?
I will say this. I I can change your life in like 5 minutes. I can change your complete and total outlook on everything you're doing in your entire life in 5 minutes. And I put years of work into it to be able to do that because I didn't have anybody like me to know anything. Nobody
Yes.
was helping me navigate life. Like not my parents either. I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't like teaching like normal stuff. So like when I work with people, it really just to show you the things that you're missing, showing you your blind spots. helping you take your power back. Like I'm able to do it because I did it for myself. So might not make me the greatest, but the most experienced in that, I can absolutely speak to things that I know most people can't. So I that's like an asset for me. I've been through a lot, but also took a lesson from everything that I've been through.
Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, absolutely. That's heavy. That's heavy. Let's go.
Thank you.
Um, that was phenomenal.
I
Listen, that was
appreciate that. Thank
phenomenal.
you.
I learned so much from you. Uh, the interview was very welcoming. Continue to do what you do, sister. We
I
appreciate you.
appreciate you. Thank you.
And where can the people find you at?
So if you're on TikTok, my TikTok is self help mentor. So it's self underscore help underscore mentor, just like it is here on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. My name on there is Melissa Gorecki. Same picture as my Instagram though. And yeah, I'm on all the platforms. I'm on YouTube. I have links in all my bios so you can find me through there. But I'm all over the place. I'm all over.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
I
sister,
appreciate it.
for being on the platform. Thank you so
Thank
much. It was
you.
wonderful. It was a
I
blessing. Um,
appreciate you.
people, please go follow Melissa, the comedian, the writer, the producer,
Thank you.
and the self-help mentor. So each and every week, y'all, please tap in the Black 31 magazine, Black 31 interview. She will be highlighted in the next edition of Black 31 that comes out November 30th. And
Thank you.
what we want to say is, most importantly, you were a phenomenal guest. So
I
thank you,
appreciate
thank you.
you. Thank you.
We are the platform of truth, the home of the champions, and the place where we uplift man, woman, and child. Peace and love, y'all. One.